That's amazing.
I blame the media. Myself. That was a joke. That was a joke. Don't
Superio's up now in the newsroom going, they're going to come marching down here.
I know. I'll tell you another really interesting
You don't want to get
fact.
on the negative side of Pippa Rifkin either. I was just
I'll tell you another very interesting fact about what we do. Both in the courts and the tribunal, we have a small claims tribunal. Because most big business disputes, it's about money, right? And they take time because they're complex. Yeah. But for individuals or people who are owed a small amount of money, they need justice quickly. They can't wait. You can't wait for 6 months to decide whether you're going to get your end of service gratuity or not. So we set up a small claims tribunal. And that tribunal, imagine, 90% of claims resolved in 3 weeks or less.
Really?
90%.
90%.
Now, if you are an individual owed money, or you're an employee who wants to move on, or you're a company with a problem that's to do with whether or not you owe money or you owe somebody money, it's a great relief because you put it in, it's all done in manuscript, it's very light touch, it's a conciliation type process, and what you get is a result very quickly that you can act upon.
Is that, in a sense, where we could see a lot more action taking place, not in small claims, but in more mediation, arbitration, those kinds of not even getting to the judicial system, but going through a mediator and working things out before we start investing time, money, and energy in battling it out in the courts? Yeah,
we're one of the few courts in the world that have a power for the judge to refer matters to mediation, where he sees that it's not a legal issue but say an emotional issue. The best person to deal with that is a mediator, that is in private session, working with the parties, understanding that what they say and what they want are often very different things. And it's through that mediation process that we hit this 90% figure in under 3 weeks.
That's that's just an absolutely spectacular number. As you said, in under 3 weeks. I mean, that's...
Yeah. No, we're really proud of it. We're really proud of the BBG. I am really proud of the BBG and what it's achieved and what it's still achieving. I'm hugely proud of the leadership exhibited by Dubai in setting up the DIFC courts. It's unique in this part of the world. China and Hong Kong have had this dual system since the partition sort of ended, where you can choose your court system. But for Dubai, it's extraordinary. And then you look at the way that they dealt with the Dubai World issue, and almost overnight they formed a set of laws and a tribunal which the world looked at and said, you know what, this is a good thing. Yes, there's a problem that needs to be fixed, but at the same time, these are the people that can actually do it. And to everyone's credit, it's been nothing but a touch wood, real success story for Dubai.
I want to find out where the BBG is going and what we can expect that's maybe new, maybe different, but definitely what the future holds. All right, Mark, your term is slowly drawing to an end at the BBG. You said, 4 years, that's it. Then you're cut loose.
That's it. And you get a new... Well, normally what you do is you get somebody from the committee who stands. Normally the deputy chairman stands, and the membership, because they want continuity, they put that person in, and you get that slight change in the direction of the oil tanker.
Well, where do you see things, from your perspective now, from the, it's an oil tanker, so it can't change directions very fast, it can't slow down very fast. Where do you see things going in the next couple of years, if you were to have that crystal ball and to look forward? Where's the BBG going?
Well, shall I tell you where I think I would like it to be?
Yeah.
I would like it to be at the heart of a network of British business groups all around the world. So put everybody together and allow a member here in Dubai and the Northern Emirates to decide that they want to export their product to Guatemala. And the way that they can do that is that they can go onto the BBG website, they can click on Guatemala as a country, they can get contacts for the business groups there, they can pick up the phone, and they can find out from that market what it is that, how they can go about it. So building a network around the world, because, Dubai's success is built on its ability to bring the world together. We sit on the spine of the book. If you had a book and on the left-hand side is the West, Western Europe and America, and the right-hand side is China and Asia, you look on the left-hand book and you talk about the emerged economies, and you look at the right-hand side of the book at the fast-paced emerging economies, and where's the spine of the book? Right down the line of Dubai. So we're already bridging these global economies, and why shouldn't we have the BBG in Dubai, which has won, I think I might have mentioned it, but best in the world.
Only 4 times, but that's okay.
No, that's fine. How long have we got?
And who did you win out over? I think that's the best part.
Oh no! Well, I can't because we're going to get phone calls from the French.
No.
Yeah. It's funny actually. You have to be careful. I say, don't think it too much. But you started talking about focus because you can't do that to a Frenchman, and you'll understand why when you think about it. So we've got.
You're going to alienate half the audience. Okay, anyway.
So you've got to see it right at the heart, right at the sort of hub. Why can't we expand this network out of India, the GCC, and elsewhere? And I think that if we can bring them all together, it really would be a very positive thing, not just for Dubai and the Northern Emirates, but also for trade generally around the world, because it would be the role model for other business groups and other business councils to be able to do the same thing. And it's business that will get this world back on its feet. It is not going to be government intervention. However people want to doll it up, it's business and jobs and opportunity and the small to medium enterprises and innovation which will change the world. It is not government subsidy and government handouts. I really believe that. So everything we can do to support that sector of the economy and to support innovation and to support knowledge and to support networking and conduits, that's what we must do. And I really believe that the BBG has a role to play.
Now, there is an arm's length relationship in a sense that the BBG is not part of the government, but obviously the British government listens. Are they listening to you when you say those words, that it's business that's going to make the change? And I keep reading about Cameron's big society things, and well, it sounds interesting. I'm not convinced, and I wonder. I look at it, and say, okay, what's the business role in here? Do you think that the governments worldwide are listening to those kind of sentiments that you share with others?
Well, businesses worldwide, governments worldwide, they know it. They know that's the answer. You have to create wealth. You can't somehow print money and think you're creating wealth. We've been through this, whether it was in Germany in the 40s and 30s and 40s, or now with quantitative easing. It solves a short-term problem, but it buys you a longer-term problem. And the gamble for government is that business will be able to fill the gap before the money falls due. And that's my sense. I'm not an economist, I'm a lawyer, so it's probably rubbish. But at the end of the day, if businesses create jobs and businesses create wealth and businesses create a goodwill factor and that they drive innovation and development, it is that will bring the world back into a sort of even keel. If the world relies on government handouts, the government still gets its money primarily from businesses. So the merry-go-round will stop at some point. And I think governments have heard, because whether you like it or not, the fact that banks have been given so much more flexibility now to create the money that they're creating and pay for the talent that they need is a reflection that governments understand the critical role that they play in advancing credit to the businesses that then use that to grow, develop and create jobs.
Let's go back just really quickly to some of the things that the BBG does, because as you said, there's really you do a lot of things, from this giant golf event that's going to be coming up, the focus groups, the training that you offer to your members, as well as the networking. Just walk us through a little bit of those things. Give us the thumbnail sketch, because we only have a thumbnail left. But the other side that I also want you to just highlight, because you are the best business group.
Did you know that?
Yeah,
your research is superb. I'm really impressed now. No, that's good. Thank you.
It was tweeted. That others, when we hear BBG and you look at it and say, okay, that's British business group, but as you've said, anyone could join. I don't necessarily have to be British to join the group.
You have to demonstrate an interest in trade between the UAE and the UK.
Yeah.
That's the test. So if you as a Canadian citizen have a business and all you do is business with Canada, you'll struggle to demonstrate that you've got a tangible interest in trade. But if you are trading between the UK and the UAE, absolutely, you're most welcome.
And there are, when we, as you said very, much earlier, there are a tremendous number, for instance, Indian businessmen who are doing just that. And this could be a fantastic business group to be part of. Or there are Canadians who are doing just that, who are right here in the UAE. And this becomes, again, a great business group to be part of. It's that relationship that you're looking for, as opposed to passport holder.
And the thing that we are passionate about is the community in which we live. We've spoken.
That's a whole other side as well.
That's a whole other side. That's the fact we're the only business group with an alliance with Young Arab Leaders, which is the Arab leaders of today and tomorrow, and promoting that relationship. And the only business group with a relationship with the Sheikh Mohammed Centre for Cultural Understanding, which promotes knowledge and understanding about the community in which we live and what they do, and knowledge transfer between cultures. Now, these are absolutely critical because we, as the Brits, can trace our history back in this part of the world 200 years.
That's a long time.
But it's irrelevant if we don't understand that we must still fight for business, that we must still show a passion, and we must still be committed to being a part of the success. If we sit back on our laurels and say, well, we've been here for 200 years, therefore please give us business, we are sadly mistaken. We must fight as hard as the Koreans and as hard as the Chinese, and we do that in two ways. One, we demonstrate a real commitment to the success of Dubai and the Northern Emirates. And secondly, we understand what success looks like. We hear from business leaders, we hear from government leaders, and we hear from people at a grassroots level what it is that this country is going to develop into. Where does the leadership believe this country should go? Because if we don't tag on to that message, we're like Sisyphus. We're just pushing water uphill. But if we understand the vision, we come back to it. What's the vision? What's the direction? What's the end goal? Because if we see that light, then we can all head in the right direction. But if we don't know what that light is, then we're like tadpoles swimming around in a dark pond.
Is everyone who's part of the BBG, members and people in the office, are they all as excited about what's going on as you are?
I hope so.
I mean, there's absolute excitement and optimism as you're sitting here. And, you know, and I've sat around tables with people who are dreary. They need to bring you in because there's nothing but excitement in what you're talking about.
Absolute passion for what has been created, not just the BBG, but the other things I'm involved in. It is an extraordinary, I say it again, it's an extraordinary place, Dubai and Northern. It is extraordinary. It's so full of opportunity. And it's that ability that we give people to grasp it, to seize it, to be a part of it, that makes me very proud to be a part of the BBG and to have moved it on a little bit. I joined, and I said in my opening speech, I said, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. And I feel that I have added a little bit to the group, and the next chairman will add a little bit, and we will continue to move forward as a group, and we will continue to demonstrate that Dubai and the Northern Emirates remain such a premier place from which to do business for not just Brits, but for anyone who's willing to seize the opportunity.
And as you said at the very beginning, there are enormous opportunities here that you might not find in other places, especially many of us back home. It's just doesn't happen. It's too established. It's a different system in place, and the opportunities are here. And you don't have to look very hard to find them. You just have to have your eyes open.
You've got to believe. You've got to believe in yourself, and you've got to believe in what you want. Believe in you.
That's a big one. The BBG really does reach out to people and help them to just to say, look, you're good at what you do. Now we're going to help you with a few little polish on the side, but you've already got it. So get out there and do it.
Yeah.
And it's shocking how many people don't believe how good they are at selling widgets or building valves or speaking.
And as we're talking about, because they're looking backwards, they're saying, I had this terrible call, I had this terrible meeting, that didn't work out well, this person's not returning my telephone call, I didn't close the contract. Fine, learn from it, but understand where you're going with it. What is it that you're trying to achieve in selling this product or this service? Because if you believe in it, it comes across, doesn't it? You've sat with people and you can see in their hearts and in their eyes that they believe in it, and you start to believe in it. Yeah. But if someone sits across and says, no, I really believe that this product is good for you and people should drink it, if they don't believe it, and people listening, they don't even need to see on the radio. People know, because intuitively we are incredibly smart creatures. And whilst we don't give ourselves credit for it, as human beings, we are amazing in our abilities. And that ability, we can detect if people aren't telling us the truth.
Yeah.
I for one believe if you don't love what you're doing, if you don't wake up every morning and say, I love what I'm doing and I love where I'm doing it, then do what Socrates said. And just move. Do something else.
Mark Beer, CEO and Chairman of the British Business Group. Thank you very much for joining us here on Nightline. Absolute pleasure.
My pleasure indeed. Thank you.